Right now on Good Morning America First Look, the urgent search for the missing overnight after a boat full of people capsizes in San Francisco Bay.
The flood emergency. Parts of Texas bracing for 20 inches of rain, while in the upper Midwest and Northeast, air quality alerts from wildfire smoke.
New fallout after a man is shot and killed by an immigration enforcement officer in Maine. Federal officials announce a temporary policy change.
A bucket truck nightmare. The tree trimmers who survived this 45-foot fall describe what happened.
A mother demanding justice after the drowning of her son. His two friends accused of hiding evidence.
A major development in the debate over changing the clocks twice a year. The decision in Congress about daylight saving time.
Plus, hear from the woman who says her husband was nearly sucked out of the window on a plane over Europe.
And the World Cup frenzy. The top moments from Spain's big upset and what to expect today for the biggest match yet.
From ABC News, this is Good Morning America First Look.
Good Wednesday morning, everyone. I'm Sophie Flay.
And I'm Hanna Battah. Let's get right to that urgent search playing out not far from the Golden Gate Bridge.
A boat packed with people capsizing. Multiple people now missing. Here's ABC's Lionel Moise.
This morning, one person is dead and 3 others were missing overnight after a boat sank near Alcatraz Island in San Francisco Bay.
It looks like multiple people are in the water, 2 to 3 unconscious. People are trapped in the boat.
That boat, a 3-deck pontoon, nearly submerged as helicopters responded to the location.
The location is Alcatraz Island. This is one Alcatraz Island.
Officials say 20 people were on board, mostly believed to be members of the same family.
Our understanding was there was some kind of memorial service that they were engaging in. That's why they were using this particular vessel. They were hit by a wave or took on water, and the boat capsized.
It's unclear if anyone was wearing a life vest.
Some people were in the water, some people were on the boat, some people were just falling into the water. Initial injuries that we are hearing about are mostly impact injuries from falling as they fell into the water.
One person was rushed to shore and pronounced dead after CPR. 13 others were rescued.
It's likely that a massive amount of water came in quickly. They may not have had what's called a high water alarm that will alert you when a bunch of water comes in. That water got into the vessel without them knowing.
Nearly a dozen boats deployed, along with divers to help search for the missing.
These search efforts are going to be ongoing throughout the night.
The initial 911 call reported a boat on fire, but officials now say there's no evidence of a fire. Hannah, Sophie.
Lionel, thank you. Parts of central Texas are bracing for potentially catastrophic flooding. Some areas, which have already seen a foot of rain, could see another 20 inches by tomorrow. Rain rates today could hit 3 inches per hour. The other big weather story, wildfires triggering evacuations in northern Minnesota. The fires being fed by scorching temperatures. The smoke from Minnesota and other fires burning in Canada has triggered air quality alerts from the Great Lakes to New York and New England. The Northeast is in the grips of another heat wave. It could top 100 degrees today from D.C. to New York. We'll check your forecast in a few moments.
New fallout from the deadly ice shooting in Maine. We're learning more about the victim and a temporary policy change for immigration enforcement. ABC's Karen Hua has the details. Karen, good morning.
Hannah, good morning. The Homeland Security Department has ordered a pause in traffic stops by immigration agents after that deadly shooting in Maine and a similar shooting in Texas last week. In each case, ICE officers killed a person agents were not pursuing. Sources say ICE officers will now undergo new training. The pause on traffic stops is not expected to last for long. Johann Sebastian Guerrero was shot in his car in Biddeford, Maine, Monday. Officials say the ICE officers tried to make a traffic stop, but Guerrero tried to flee in his car. In fearing for public safety, an officer opened fire. A memorial has been growing for the 26-year-old who officials say entered the country illegally, but was authorized to work here. Guerrero had taken on multiple jobs to support his wife and 3-year-old daughter.
And after a while, I could see that he stopped breathing.
How hard was all of this to watch?
It was very hard. And his girlfriend or his wife, I don't know, I thought it might have been his sister maybe, was across the street, hysterical.
Maine's 2 senators are now demanding federal investigators fully cooperate with officials at state and local levels. Sophie?
Karen, thank you. President Trump is threatening to expand the bombing campaign inside Iran after several nights of U.S. attacks targeting Iran's missile and drone capabilities. Trump appears to be giving Iran an ultimatum to return to the negotiating table.
But we're going to hit them very hard tonight. We're going to hit them very hard tomorrow night. We're going to hit them very hard the night after. And then next week it gets really bad for them because next week comes the power plants. Next week comes the bridges. We're going to knock out all their power plants. We're going to knock out all their bridges unless they get to the table and negotiate.
Trump would not rule out ground troops. The Strait of Hormuz remains virtually shut down. Trump yesterday backed off a plan to charge ships a toll for safe passage through the strait. Trump has scheduled a primetime address tomorrow night where he could discuss Iran, but he's widely expected to discuss election security here at home.
Now to Texas, and a mother demanding justice after the drowning of her son. Her lawyer is now claiming a comparison between this case and another teenager's death in Mississippi.
Justice for Daniel Irving.
Justice for Daniel Irving.
The mother of a Texas teenager found dead in a Dallas area lake is now demanding murder charges after police say the friends her son was with covered up evidence instead of calling for help.
We're here to have murder charges brought against those two. I believe that they did it intentionally, knowingly, willingly.
18-year-old Daniel Irving, an honor roll student and member of his school swim team, drowned after jumping from a railroad bridge into Lake Ray Hubbard with two other teens, according to an arrest affidavit. The medical examiner ruled his death an accident, but police say instead of calling 911, the teens threw Irving's clothes into the trees, tossing his phone from their car, and deleted their messages with him. His body was left in the lake for 4 days. 19-year-old Lucas Roper and a juvenile are charged with tampering with evidence, but neither is accused of causing Daniel's death. Attorney Ben Crump has joined the case, demanding a grand jury.
They tried to destroy any connection they had to him. But thank God we serve a God that sits high and looks low, and the truth could not be hidden forever.
Amen.
Police say they conducted a thorough investigation, but Crump is drawing comparisons to another case he's working on in Mississippi, where 18-year-old Nolan Wells was found dead off a barrier island after a boat trip. He was the only one of his friends who did not come home. Investigators believe he drowned and say there were no immediate signs of foul play. Wells' parents, who are conducting their own investigation, are set to meet today with the district attorney.
As for the case in Dallas, police say Lucas Roper told them he panicked after Irving drowned and deleted his messages, fearing he might get in trouble. We were unable to reach Roper for comment.
Now to a major development in the debate over changing the clocks twice a year. House lawmakers now passing a bill to keep daylight saving time all year long.
The days of springing forward and falling back may be numbered. The House has voted to make daylight saving time permanent.
Without objection, the motion to reconsider is laid upon the table.
The bill would end the twice-a-year clock change requirement and give way to the later sunsets we see from March to November.
Let's stop asking Americans to reset their clocks every March and November. Let's provide some certainty and consistency and a little more sunshine at the end of the day.
The bill has been a priority for President Trump.
I assume people would like to have more light later. But some people want to have more light earlier because they don't want to take their kids to school in the dark.
Congress made daylight saving time permanent during the 1970s energy crisis, but reversed course after parents revolted over children walking to school in pitch-dark winter mornings. In Florida alone, 8 kids were killed in traffic accidents.
If we're going to make a permanent change that affects every American, we should follow the science, learn from history, and prioritize Americans' health, particularly that of our children.
Permanent daylight saving time would mean the sun wouldn't rise until 8:52 a.m. in Seattle in mid-January and 9:04 a.m. in Indianapolis. But this new bill would allow states to opt out and make their own decisions.
The bill now heads to the Senate, where its fate is uncertain.
Time now for your Wednesday weather.
Good morning. We're looking at the risk of catastrophic flooding continuing over portions of the Texas Hill Country. We're talking about places like Uvalde to just west of San Antonio. 2-inch per hour rainfall rates at times during the day today into the day tomorrow as well. This could add up to locally 20 inches in some parts of the Rio Grande Plains, just east of the Rio Grande Valley. Extreme heat, a big issue in the upper Midwest, spreading into the Northeast, especially during the day-to-day. Triple digits are a possibility from Philadelphia all the way to Washington, D.C. Meteorologist Jeff Smith, ABC News.
Coming up, new clues about the parasite outbreak making so many people sick.
Also ahead, we hear from the woman who says her husband was nearly sucked out of the window on a plane flying over Europe.
And something we've never seen involving fireworks and a car speeding down the highway. New details about that parasite outbreak causing Americans from coast to coast to suffer intestinal issues. Nearly 7,000 cases are either confirmed or under investigation. The bulk of them are in Michigan. The CDC now says cases in Michigan, West Virginia, Kentucky, and Ohio seem to have a similar but still undetermined source. Officials in Michigan are looking at lettuce or salad greens as a possibility. The outbreak has prompted Taco Bell to voluntarily remove some ingredients at certain locations as a precaution.
Now to that terrifying moment when a window became dislodged on a passenger plane mid-air. We're now hearing from the woman whose husband was sitting next to that window.
This morning, the wife of the man nearly sucked out of a Ryanair jet is describing the moment a window broke in mid-air. Svetlana Maximovic saying, "I heard an incredibly loud bang. I turned toward him and saw that part of his body had already been pulled out through the window." The couple was flying from Greece to Germany Friday when a window of the Boeing 737 dislodged just minutes into the flight.
We can see one of the blades in the engine that you can see as you look at the front broke free, went out the side of the engine and hit the fuselage right at the window where this person was seated.
Maximovic says she and another passenger grabbed her husband's arm. "We just didn't have the strength," she says. Then a man from across the aisle came over. Together, we managed to pull him back inside the plane. She says her 61-year-old husband collapsed 3 times before the plane made it back to Greece. He's being treated for neck and shoulder injuries and friction burns. Now she wants answers, saying someone has to be held accountable for this. Who cleared that aircraft to fly?
While holding on her husband's legs, she said she thought if we die together. Ryanair confirms the window dislodged, but won't comment further pending the investigation.
A shocking scene on a Florida highway. Police say someone was shooting fireworks out of a moving car.
They appear to be shooting fireworks out of the window at cars on the interstate. Got it on camera, but it looked like it was mortar style. It looked like one of them even bounced off the ground the opposite lane of traffic.
Police near Jacksonville released the video after stopping a man on I-95. They say they had tracked the vehicle for 10 miles. One of the passengers is now charged with shooting a deadly missile from a moving vehicle.
Coming up, a drug showing new promise against Alzheimer's.
But first, a bucket truck nightmare. Hear from the workers who survived this 45-foot fall.
We're back with a terrifying fall for 2 workers in Oklahoma. Isaac and Andrew Reyes were trimming trees when a support cable snapped, sending their bucket truck crashing 45 feet to the ground. One of them suffered a broken leg and 2 broken ankles, the other a broken nose and jaw.
We just all of a sudden heard a snap, and down we go, and it's really hard to remember much after that.
Whenever it happened, it pretty much felt like a roller coaster, and it didn't have a happy ending like they do, so it pretty much felt like we hit a block of concrete. And I was winded.
I woke up in the hospital, had no idea what happened.
They don't expect to work for weeks. A fundraising site is helping them with expenses.
We turn now to the man behind the so-called miracle on the Hudson, now fighting Alzheimer's.
He was the hero who somehow landed a passenger plane on the Hudson River, saving everyone on board after a bird strike took out the engines. Captain Chesley Sullenberger's bravery would later be portrayed on the big screen by Tom Hanks.
This is the captain. Brace for impact.
But now, the pilot nicknamed Sully, whose bravery inspired the world, is on a new mission, sharing his Alzheimer's diagnosis. Sullenberger, now 75, says the disease is in its early stages, saying, "It is my hope that by sharing this, other families living in the shadows with this disease will feel they too can step forward. Courage can be contagious. More than 7 million Americans are living with Alzheimer's dementia. And while there are treatment options to delay or manage symptoms, there is no cure.
Although memory problems can be found in various types of dementia, short-term memory loss is the defining symptom of Alzheimer's disease. The concern is when it's disruptive, and when it's progressive, and when it's persistent. Those are the key things that you look for when we're talking to patients about their symptoms.
There is encouraging news in the field of research. Just yesterday, researchers announced a promising experimental drug that may help slow early-stage Alzheimer's and cognitive decline by lowering levels of a brain protein called tau.
It works by targeting the mechanism that normally produces tau in the body. This is the first study. I think we have a really encouraging signal.
As for Captain Sully, he says he won't allow the disease to prevent him from appreciating the future.
Coming up, the dinosaur that sold for $50 million.
But first, the World Cup frenzy reaches new heights.
Time to check the pulse. We begin with all the World Cup excitement.
After pulling off the upset, Spain has advanced to Sunday's title game after beating France 2-0. Spain is seeking its second World Cup title.
One of their biggest fans is the 3-year-old brother of star forward Lamine Yamal, giving his big bro a wave after the win. Today, all eyes are on England and Argentina, one of the biggest rivalries in sports. It'll be Lionel Messi's first time ever playing England, even though his international career spans more than 20 years.
At the Major League Baseball All-Star Game, the American League did most of the damage in the first inning, scoring 3 runs before many fans even sat down. The AL ended up winning 4-0. Next, the countdown to the Odyssey.
Yeah, the public debut of the 3-hour epic is now just 2 days away. The film's premiere here in New York last night included a real-life Trojan horse, which may or may not have been empty.
Matt Damon and Anne Hathaway were spotted on the red carpet, and Zendaya was decked out in that gown that included wings and a feather-inspired train. Next, a record price for a dinosaur fossil.
A 67-million-year-old T-Rex unearthed in South Dakota just sold in New York. They call him Gus, and he sold for $50 million at auction. He's 12 feet tall. The buyer is staying anonymous. Critics say Gus should be in a museum. Next, United Airlines with a new seating option.
You won't have to worry about anyone sitting in the middle seat. On its newest planes, one row in economy will be used as a table, offering a little luxury for passengers on either side. No word yet on pricing. And finally, a new robot that's for the birds.
MIT researchers have designed a robot that flies and swims like a puffin with flexible wings. Scientists hope to use it to keep an eye on marine ecosystems.
Top headlines next. Checking more top stories, Attorney General nominee Todd Blanche faces a confirmation hearing on Capitol Hill today. Democrats are expected to grill Blanche on President Trump's so-called anti-weaponization fund and the Jeffrey Epstein files.
1 person is dead and 3 missing overnight after a boat in the San Francisco Bay overturned. 20 people were on board. Many are said to be from the same family.
IBM stock plummeted more than 25%, its worst day in nearly 60 years. The company saying customers are moving towards AI servers and memory and away from software.
Elon Musk's AI company has reportedly installed dozens of gas turbines for its Tennessee data center without securing clean air permits. Reuters reports potential emissions are far beyond the threshold that would require a federal permit.
Today's weather, storms in the southwest and more flash flooding in central Texas. Some areas could see 20 inches of rain. Smoke from wildfires in Minnesota spreads into the northeast where temperatures are near 100. And finally, a workout blast from the past.
Remember Tae Bo?
Everything old is new again. For TikTokers who have discovered a cult favorite workout of the 90s.
And I literally do it right there in front of my TV.
Victoria Morano just started doing Tae Bo, the martial arts cardio workout that exploded in popularity when it went to home video. All of that happened before she even took her first steps.
Were people just built different back then? Why was no one drinking water? Because literally in the workout, they were just going. No breaks, no water.
Morano is one of several 20-somethings who have joined in on this resurgence. Videos like one shared by Elizabeth Hope on TikTok have racked up millions of views and hundreds of comments.
The amount of people I got that said, oh my God, I've been doing them with my mom. I've been doing them in school when I was a kid. Where can I find these? Everyone's like so amped that they're back.
And it's safe to say that no one is more amped than...
Hi, I'm Billy Blanks. My daughter one day, she came to me and said, hey, Dad, I think you should do a 1-minute workout on TikTok. I go, what? I said, you think people really work out in 1 minute? She said, yes, Dad, if you do a good workout, people will do it. So I did it, and it went crazy, right?
Your daughter was onto something.
Yeah, she is.
Billy Blanks has gotten so much new interest in the workout that now, at 70 years young, he just recorded an introductory course for all the newcomers.
All I want to do is show people that it doesn't matter how long the workout is, what you put into the workout is what you get out of it.
And pretty soon, he'll have some new help from this newer generation.
I'm going to be able to get certified soon, so that's going to be really fun.
Yeah, so special. She's going to be certified in Tae Bo. And Billy, by the way, he hosts regular live virtual workouts. So check out his socials if you want to join.
Yeah, he's a gem. That's your Good Morning America First Look.
Have a great day, everyone.